In this lesson, we will be discovering America as we know it, going all the way back to its colonial roots and taking a specific look at St. Augustine, Florida, the oldest North American settlement. This map details what pre-colonized North America looked like around 1400. Notice that modern-day Florida was predominantly controlled by the Calusa, Natchez, and some Cherokee tribes. It is believed that Spanish explorer Ponce de Leon was the first European to set foot on Floridian soil in April of 1513. This map drawn by his crew gave Europe its first glimpse at a new world, but it wasn't founded until over 50 years later when a Spanish soldier named Pedro Menendez de Avilés arrived in 1565. The settlement got its namesake from Avilés discovering it on August 28th, the day of his St. Augustine. By 1672, St. Augustine had suffered from coastal and inland attacks from the British, native peoples, and pirates. Ignacio Daza, an engineer, developed a fort to protect the settlement. The fort named Castillo de Marcos, or St. Mark's Castle, is the oldest masonry fort in North America and was critical in the survival of Spanish settlement. The fort was battle-tested in two major sieges in 1702 and 1740 by the British. The sieges were long and costly to the British, suffering major casualties despite help from the Calusa. The Spanish were able to hold their ground well and were able to soundly defeat their attackers in 1702. However, the 1740 siege brought many casualties to the Spanish despite a victory. This was the product of a costly war between the Spanish and British, and the Spanish were slowly but surely being pushed out of North America. By 1763, the Treaty of Paris confirmed the British control of Florida, and St. Augustine was lost to the British. Long after the war, the U.S. settled into St. Augustine and constructed a lighthouse in 1874 named St. Augustine's Light. This image drawn in 1885 shows a bird's eye view of what St. Augustine had grown into. Today, St. Augustine is a tourist town with many historical sites to visit. My trip in 2021 was full of amazing sights. It's Castillo de Marco, the lighthouse of St. Augustine, and the Cathedral Basilica were the highlights. It is also home to the oldest standing wooden schoolhouse of all of North America.